Security is a big concern. One of our exhibitors is Navistar. I've got Dean Oppermann with me today. Security is a big concern for a lot of people here attending the conference, and we've got Ben Barnes with us today. Hi, Ben.
Hello.
So what is it that you do here at McLeod Software?
So my official title is Chief Information Security Officer, and that basically means that, not only looking out for our IT security and interest, but also has a bearing on our customers' IT and security and interest, and that seems to be a big topic right now in our industry as well as every industry.
What's something that keeps you up at night when it comes to securing McLeod Software that you know other CIOs are having to worry about the same thing?
Having the right tools and people in place, I think, is your big key. If you have the right tools and people and you have the right education for your end users, it really starts at the end user. So if you've done your due diligence, your end users are aware of the things that can happen to them, the phishing attacks that come in over email or the ransomware attacks that can be had. So there's a lot of awareness out there now. I think that the fact that people don't know would be the thing that keeps me up at night. Now people are knowing more, and the education factor has really made a big difference.
What are maybe the top two things you would advise when it comes to securing our data?
Sure. So I would say educate, and maybe educate, but I'm kidding a little bit there. You have to have a good staff, not only in your employees and your end users, but you also have to have the due diligence IT. You have to do the things that keep your IT secure, such as your updates being done. You have to have some protection on your perimeter, not just to let your network on your computer open to the world. You've got to have some kind of roadblocks. It's called firewalls. Everybody's heard that term probably by now. So, putting it in 2 is tough. I could maybe put it in 10. But there's little steps all along the way. There's no one size fits all for any company.
So, cloud, a lot of people hear about that right now. With our phone companies, we're storing things on the cloud, our personal laptops. Talk to us a little bit about some of those options.
Sure. So a lot of your larger cloud providers have SLA, service level agreements, that include security now. Those security agreements need to be looked at. Just because somebody says they're secure doesn't mean they are. However, if they are secure, they will have that very well documented, and it will be in a form that is easily understandable. So people like Amazon Web Services or Google or some of those big cloud providers are secure, and you want to look at their security credentials. Don't just take it at face value, but that versus on-premise is still probably a better option in a lot of situations, because on-premise, you have to constantly keep up with your own security. You're farming that out in the cloud and allowing them to do that. The key is they have to be diligent and do it also. You can't just set it and forget it. You have to follow through continuously with a cloud provider to make sure they stay up on the latest standards also.
Hacking has definitely become prevalent in the business world, but has that impacted our customers?
So hacking in the form of ransomware, which is, it used to be that you were after targeted attacks. You were after hospitals or banks or some big name. Now it's about numbers. I want to try to attack 500 people, and if I get 50, I've done good. I've made some money. And that's the form of ransomware. It's hijacking your data for ransom. That's where it comes from. So having said that, yes, we do have customers. In a matter of fact, we have about one a week that happen. And, sometimes that's a small attack and it only affects 1 or 2 servers. Sometimes that affects everything on their network. Depends on where they fence it off and how they fence that attack from happening. And, that can affect our software pretty heavily. So if you have an attack and you're down for 3 days, can you calculate the revenue loss on 3 days and the employees that are sitting idle for 3 days and where your loads are and how you pay drivers and mobile communications and EDI? So it can snowball really quick. So it's not something you take lightly. And if you do, you will be a victim. There's no other way to say it. But if you're proactive and you get out in front of that, the customers that are getting those attacks are stopping them. They're stopping them at a PC or an email address instead of affecting their whole system. That directly relates to your LoadMaster product, your Power Broker product, your Document Power product. All of those can be affected by any ransomware. So you have to be diligent and stop that attack up front. Don't let it spread. If it does spread, you have to have a pretty good plan on how you're going to recover from that. And that's usually a backup and restore process.
If we have a customer who has been hacked and they contact us, what can we do for them?
Well, in the case of ransomware specifically, our first encouraging words are to fence off that attack. Stop it so it doesn't keep spreading. Ransomware is going to keep spreading usually. If it's already affected one server, stop it there. Unplug the server from the network. Some things can be simple. Once that's fenced off, then just working with them to come up with a plan on how to make that server get back online. So the quickest thing to do is, if you have a backup and recovery plan, is to enact that recovery plan. We assist with that, get through that as fast as we can, and get that system back up and operational.
So what would you say is the one takeaway from the conference for our customers?
So, I probably can't say it enough, but awareness and education, it really starts there. End user awareness and education is the one thing that is the biggest defense. And if we can do that and get more people understanding how this starts and spreads, then a lot of the issues will go away.
Makes perfect sense. Ben, we really appreciate your time today.
Well, thank you for having me.
One of the unique things about Bluetree is that we do check the boxes on all types of equipment. So whether it's a truck with ELD and all of the driver performance and engine software, we also do reefer trailers, we do dry van. So that sets us apart, working all types of equipment, including refrigerated straight trucks. And then I think another real differentiator is the reason we started in the business with refrigerated trailers. And the reason we're in trucks is because that's where our customers asked us to go. So we're very customer-centric, customer-focused. I think that's another unique differentiator.
Well, Nora, what's special about our McLeod integration is we integrate both with our tractors and our trailers in the North American market. Okay, our trailer integration, we take the set point of the order, which is set up by the dispatcher, and compare that to the actual set point of the trailer. That allows our customers to be able to tell if the set point is correct inside the trailer, and if it's not, we alert them so they can notify the driver. One of the other things that is really special about our application is our tractor integration that we have with you. We integrate hours of service, of course, standard messaging, auto arrival and departure, and our workflow application. The Bluetree workflow application allows us to have the driver automatically receive tasks that he's been given by operations. Okay, the driver executes those tasks one by one, and those tasks are fulfilled as the driver goes down the road. So when he gets in his truck and he starts moving, we auto start the job for the driver automatically, so he doesn't have to touch any buttons. Okay, when the driver arrives to his shipper location, we automatically, with the geofence, arrive him in McLeod. So he is automatically arrived, and he doesn't have to fill out any forms at all. He just automatically goes to the shipper, and we autofill that and send it into McLeod. The second thing that we do is when the driver receives his arrived at shipper form, we allow him to fill that information in only when he needs to. So we autofill all the information that we can for the driver. The driver just checks over the information, and then Bluetree automatically sends that in for the driver. Of course, we have all the standard features. If a customer wants to have a form that's required or not, we can take any form, field in a form that we want and make it required. The other things that Bluetree does is we automatically fill into the ETA module. Okay, so when the driver departs his geofence, we send that information back down to the ETA module, and allows operations to know when the driver if he's going to be late on his next load. And of course, we send an alert through McLeod on that. Some of the benefits for the driver: it is ease of use, the auto starting the job. The driver doesn't really have to touch many buttons. He goes from task to task to task as he performs his work for the day. And our device is really user-friendly. We're an Android platform. The driver uses a device just like he would a cell phone. And training is really greatly reduced. And our drivers really enjoy the application.
One of the things from perspective as ELD is there's a lot of companies that can count hours. I think what we do is provide a lot of analytics and data that allows companies to really drive up MPG and performance our driver performance scorecard really sets us apart. We're very unique in the fact that we can allow companies to profile their make and model of trucks so that the performance is based strictly on the truck type, and it really is impactful. I think our biggest advantage is one of the first products that I've seen that's basically built from the driver to the back end. The drivers love our product, the experience, the ease of use, training time is less than 30 minutes, and the reaction from the drivers has been phenomenal.
One of our exhibitors is Navistar. I've got Dean Oppermann with me today. Hi, Dean.
Hi, thank you for inviting me.
Yes, tell us what you do at Navistar, first off.
So my job at Navistar is to try and understand what the new technologies are coming to our marketplace and understand what the cost benefit of those technologies are so that we can give the best value to our customers in our future products.
You guys have one of the coolest booths here. Tell us what you brought.
Missy, I brought my favorite vehicle here. It's the Navistar Super Truck. It's named CATALIST. It's named CATALIST for a reason, and that's because it is a catalyst for change for our new technologies going into the future.
So first thing when you look at it, it looks a little bit different. Tell us about the aerodynamics.
So I have a great team of engineers that worked on this vehicle. And one of the low-hanging fruits for improving the freight efficiency of the vehicle is reducing the aerodynamic drag. You can see that in the beautiful shape lines and the smooth curvature of the new body, and with the added features on the trailer as well, the side skirts, the gap treatment, and the extended boat tail as well.
Is the shape the only thing that helps with the aerodynamics?
No, we have actually a special feature that's very unique to the Navistar Super Truck, and that is we have actually pitch control in that at higher speeds, it literally changes shape. It drops the front of the vehicle and it drops the trailer to try and generate an airfoil across the top of the vehicle. It actually reduces the drag significantly.
Sounds very futuristic.
Yeah.
So here at McLeod, we're really big, obviously, into technology and new things. It doesn't really look like it used to. It looks like there's something missing.
There is something missing. And I think the most attention has been garnered around the lack of rear view mirrors. Actually, I think it's probably best if we walk over and I show you them in person.
Can you?
Yeah.
Oh, great. Let's
Let's go.
This is amazing in here.
A little bit like a cockpit of a fighter jet, right?
It really does feel that way. Not what I was expecting with the screens and everything.
No, it's very comfortable. There actually are a lot of unique facets to taking away the mirrors from the system and adding cameras. So just to explain the situation here, right? We have our standard mirror set in 2 cameras that are displayed on either side, in very similar locations to where you're used to seeing them already. And then we have actually a very unique a blind spot camera that really helps with maneuverability with these big vehicles like this.
Is this on my right side over here?
This is on the right side,
Okay.
right? I can always see on this side, so that becomes a trouble point, right? Small children, curbs, so on and so forth.
Right.
So I use it quite a bit because I'm an amateur truck driver, to say the least. But some of the other unique facets about this are the fact that in a production truck, you can't see through what we call the A-pillar, which is the structure between the windshield and the side glass. And you also can't see through the mirror that extends out. So you lose a lot of the visibility out here. This gives us the opportunity to stack those 2 features, and now we only lose visibility through this A-pillar. And so, as you can see, the world opens up to us, so to speak, and we have much better visibility.
It really does.
This vehicle was the first vehicle to demonstrate and develop our predictive cruise control system. Predictive cruise control is the next generation in cruise control. When you set cruise control in your car, you set it at 65 miles an hour probably, and it stays fixed.
Maybe 65. Maybe a little more, but we won't go there.
But it stays fixed. It's always running. It doesn't care if it's climbing a mountain or going down a hill. It stays at that speed. Our predictive cruise control has maps and GPS locations, so it knows where it is on the planet, and it knows what the topography of the road is the 3 kilometers ahead. And it adjusts the speed of the vehicle to optimize fuel economy over that entire road, and it's continually calculating thousands and thousands of calculations per second in optimizing the fuel economy. So to bring this down to someone that's not as familiar, I liken it to riding a bike, right? If you're riding a bike and you see a big hill coming, you don't slow down, you pedal faster before you get to that hill. This vehicle does a very similar type of activities. So you'll see it actually adjusting its speed for no apparent reason, but trust that it's doing it because there's something happening miles ahead.
This is unbelievable.
So we use that technology as sort of a jumping off point, right? So now we have all this information. We can use that to capture energy on downhills more effectively, to prepare the engine through water pump and advanced cooling techniques to better be prepared for when these hills, when we approach these hills and the engine gets overloaded with heat, so to try and minimize the time that the fan is on, and all these accessories that take power away from the vehicle, we try and minimize, and PCC is a big part of that. So you ready to go for a ride? You want to start it up?
Really? I would love to. I'm just going to turn the key.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
It's
Ready?
just a car.
Here we go. Have fun. You ready to go?
Yep.
Let's
Put her
go.
in drive.
Let's go.